to another That CMMS Dude video. In today's video, we're going to cover using MobileMMS to document a fleet bit inspection and how to document a fleet repair identified during a bit inspection. First off, let's navigate to the fleet assets that we'll be performing the bit inspection on. So I'm going to click here on the fleet section. And then once this comes up, I'm going to click on the fleet assets. And here in the search field, I'm going to put in 222. I'm going to use this one because this is the fleet vehicle that's assigned to me. I know it's not part of the bit program, so I can create some forms on this and it won't upset any live data for a real bit vehicle. This search screen allows us to search for vehicle numbers, license plate numbers, or VINs. So you can see here there's about a dozen results that came up here where 222 either exists in the vehicle number or in the license plate number or somewhere in the VIN. So I'm going to go ahead and pick 222 down here by clicking anywhere in this white box, and it will bring up the vehicle, the fleet asset 222. Now, if I hit this green details button, it will go ahead and put the details over here in the main portion of the screen. And you can see this is all the vehicle information for vehicle 222. So if I'm going to do a bit inspection, I'm going to go ahead and hit this green chain link here right next to the form that says bit truck tractor. And it's going to launch a bit form. Now it's going to pull some of the information from the fleet asset, and then it's going to have a number of fields here, including the date of inspection, which we'll put in as today, who's doing the bit inspection. And then this section down here, if we have one of our internal mechanics doing this bit inspection, or if we have a contractor that we've onboarded that we want them to do the bit inspection through the system, these are the fields that they would fill out. This comes right from the CHP list of the things that you're supposed to do on a bit inspection. But we don't have to fill these out. If we have a contractor doing it and they're doing their own form, we can just attach that form to this work order and we can leave all of these fields blank. But for this example, I'm going to go ahead and fill all these fields out. And I'm going to mark that the windshield wipers window cracks field is deficient. All the other fields I'm going to mark as okay. So I've skipped forward to all of the fields being marked as okay, because it would be very boring for you to watch me mark a whole bunch of fields as okay. They're just drop-down menus. As you can see, they say okay or deficient. So I've marked them all as okay, and I've skipped forward here. Comments, I'm just going to put cracked windshield. That's the only thing we found on this. If you wanted to add any attachments or photos, you could do it here. We'll put the inspector name. I'm going to put it in as myself as the inspector. And then we have an add signature line here, which would allow someone to put a signature in either using the mouse, or if you're on a tablet or something, an iPad or something like that, you could use your fingertip or a stylus. But you see it just lets you, put whatever you need in here for a signature and hit save. It'll put that on the document. And then I'm going to set this status to closed and hit create. And this will actually create the bit form and it'll be attached to this vehicle. You can see it says 0 of 1 here. That's because I set it to closed and we have the only open filter on. So if I toggle that only open filter off, it will let us get to these historical work orders, including this one that we just created. I'm going to click in the white box here and bring up the details of this. So I'm basically drilling down into the bit form, right? So you see this thing change to the bit form that I just filled out with all my OKs and my deficient here for windshield crack and all of the things that I just entered. So you can see that this is the form we're on and it's attached to the fleet asset 222. Now, just like I created the bit form off of the fleet asset using the chain link, I'm going to use this chain link to create a fleet repair work order against this bit form inspection, and then this bit form inspection is against the fleet asset. So you can see why they choose to use the chain link icon, because it's literally linking one form to another form, and in this case to the third form, which is the parent form. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that chain link. You can see I'm attaching it to this work order, which if I expand this out is the bit form. I'm going to go in here in service type. I'm going to go down to the W's here and say that this is a windshield. We'll say that the requester is me. We'll say yes, that the vehicle is operable, where it's currently located. And we're going to put windshield needs to be replaced. Okay, and we can assign it to whoever was going to do this. Kind of determine, who's going to do the work. And likely in a case like this, we would send it out to, to a contractor to replace the windshield. But here, all I'm going to do is come down to the bottom and hit create. So what you're going to see here is now we're going to have an open fleet repair work order that is attached to the bit inspection, which is then attached to the fleet asset. Now, if you're on the fleet asset, you can drill all the way down. I'll show you that by drilling back up to the fleet asset, right? You can drill down through the list here to the bit inspection and then to the fleet work order. Or you can just go back to your fleet records here, go into fleet repair work orders, and it'll always have the latest one on top, right? So you can either get to it through the fleet asset, through the bid inspection itself, or just directly through the repair work orders. So several ways of getting to this, but you can see this is the one that I just put in with the windshield needs to be replaced. Now let's fast forward to saying that this windshield was replaced. We would go in here and edit this record. We could set this status to closed. And if this is a bit repair, I mean, let's say, you know, whatever it was, I just replaced a headlight or something, right? You could put in the name of the person that did the bit repair, because this is required for the bit program, and then add the signature of the person that did the bit repair. Again, required by the program. Then any closing comments would go here. So I'll just put the word comments. You can put any cost of repair, drop any attachments you want here, whether it's an invoice or a picture or whatever, right? You know, you may want to put the invoice in here showing that we paid for it. We may want to put a picture of the new windshield, whatever that is, and we'll go ahead and hit save, and that will close this work order out. So we navigated to a fleet asset. We'll go into the fleet assets here. We'll go 222, hit enter, pick the fleet asset. We use the chain link to create a bit inspection. Once we had that bit inspection created, we went in and used the chain link to create a fleet repair work order against that bit inspection, got the fleet repair work order, and then we went in and edited this fleet repair work order and completed the fleet repair work order. So that is an example of how to go in, use the system to find your fleet asset, make your bit inspection, make your fleet repair work order against that bit inspection. We'll show you again right here. We'll go back into the fleet assets. We'll throw a search for 222 in here. We'll open this up, and I'll show you how when you've done a bit inspection, there's some automations in the background that will come in here and take the last bit inspection date. That's the date that I just entered on that bit form when I created it. It will automatically calculate out the 60-day warning to say, hey, you have 30 days to get this, the next bit inspection done, and the 90-day warning that says, you know, if you have not done your bit inspection by this 90-day interval, we should red tag the vehicle until that bit inspection gets done. It's actually illegal to take it out on the streets. So, you know, all of this is based on the inspection date that you put in on the bit inspection form. I'll show you right here again. We put in this date of inspection of 8/1. So that's what updated the bit inspection date here and then allowed these calculations to work. I hope you find this video informative and helpful. As always, drop a like on this. Let me know, put a comment, let me know how I did, and we'll see you on the next video.